Hey everybody, welcome to The Remedy. Hi, I'm your host, Tony Pantalleresco, and you're listening to us live on the Micro Effect Broadcasting Network. You can access the show by typing in www.themicroeffect.com and click on the appropriate links, the chat room links. Come on in, make friends, get acquainted, solve some issues, save the planet, cooperate. You can also access me by going to the different websites, buyebluesky.com, Gay Canada, and other places, where you'll find general information of all kinds of things in all kinds of natures, from genetics, transgenetics, chemtrails, nanoparticles, synthetic biology, AI, and the whole 9 yards. Today I'm going to get into the whole aspect of synthetic biology and a variety of different things. I'm also going to give you a little bit of an exhortation. I'll start off with the exhortation. I get calls all the time, people sending me information all the time, and usually the comments I get, in regard to what's going on, did you see the chemtrails? Are you hearing the frequencies? Are you getting, are you getting sick? I'm having respiratory issues. I'm having a hard time recovering from my health. They did something. And that's good. That's really good that you are aware that they've done something. They've been doing something since the Second World War. They've been sabotaging mankind since the Second World War, even from the First World War, if you really want to be technical. And in fact, life on the planet was hijacked right from the garden. Eve was a liability to Adam. She got him kicked out of the club. Started there. But in all aspects of what you're seeing, a lot of you are waking up, or a lot of you are starting to wake up and recognize that everything that a lot of the activists have been saying doesn't sound so far-fetched anymore. Heck, the Micro Effect has been broadcasting all kinds of events from all kinds of different venues and been telling this for ages. In all the podcasters as well. But the one thing that I got to exhort you on is this: don't glorify what they've done. 3 things happen to people that wake up and become aware. Number 1, you get scared out of your mind. Targeted individuals, activists, nano, artificial intelligence. We're on a realm here of, they're talking living machines, okay, and it's already begun. Whatever we're seeing on the internet, on YouTube, in regard to living machines, this is not new. They've already been working on this for quite some time. What we're now seeing is the beginning stages of that being released in the general population. That's going to scare the hell out of you, period. When you start to wake up, and when you start looking at what is going on, what is effective, what is affecting you, food supply. I get things all the time about organics. I keep telling everybody there's no organics. I keep telling people all the time that the parasites you think you have in you are no longer just a general parasite. These are advanced biological, technological, integrated units now that they are putting into the system. And it doesn't take long, really, when you start looking at the research of nanobiology, synthetic biology, nanotechnology, genetics, epigenetics, transgenetics, that you're going to be able to put the picture together. And you're going to be able to see where we're really at in today's time. And this is the other thing. We are in today's time. 2018. Okay? This is where you have to really focus in today's time. We are back to the Tower of Babel. The singularity that they're talking about is a unification of the human race integrated with an artificial intelligence. That's what they're talking about. That's what was going on then. If you actually read the context of what that's saying back then, they're talking, that singularity aspect was at the Tower of Babel already. Mankind was already under the the programming of artificial intelligence or alien intelligence or demonic intelligence, if you will. All one and the same thing. They're of one mind and one language. That's programming, and I've said this before. Nothing's changed today. When we're looking at Daniel's prophecies with the iron and clay, we're talking biology with technology. That's what that's referring to. That's where we're at today. A lot of the interpretations that we've been given by the churches, and even by some of these, somebody was telling me she was reading some sort of Jewish report from way back in the day. Try to explain to her there's a difference between Jew and Israeli. People from Israel are called Israeli. When Abraham came out of Chaldea, he created a nation for Israel. And that's how I read it, and for a nation for Israel. So when we're looking at anything that's Jewish today, you may really want to evaluate that terminology and what that actually means. I don't really believe nothing from any perspective in regard to religion. I think that the whole religious thing has been nothing but a snow job on us. The only thing that they gave us was one aspect of the truth and all kinds of clouded and muddied bunk that has kept us in the dark, kept us from really evolving, and kept us from really becoming what we should be. Kept us entrenched or entrained in some sort of institution, and then being programmed by these institutions to believe whatever BS that they put onto us. That's how I look at it. So I don't get caught up because somebody says that they're Jewish or they're Muslim or they're Christian or they're Catholic or they're Buddhist or Hindu or believe in the Creator or the universe. I don't really get all worked up or excited about any of these things. I'm a man of substance, and you should be too. Test all things and hold fast to what is good. That's what it says. Test it, test it, test it. Anyway, my point is, when we're getting caught up and being awakened on every front, even the things of spiritual stuff that we've been taught, majority of it has just been just nonsense, pure and simple, stupid stuff that really didn't amount to much. There's been no substantiation of a lot of things. We've accepted a lot of things based on hearsay and, for lack of better terms, faith. Well, faith is the substance of things hoped for. Substance is in that definition. So if you're going to believe in something, it better have substance, solid substance, something that can be manifested in this realm or reality. There are some things that we have to, again, accept because we don't know, and we go by faith in order to get to the understanding of what we're trying to learn. And then we work at learning the truth, and then from there we get the truth, and that's what we base everything on, is the truth that we've discovered. But just to believe blindly in anything that any minister, rabbi, cleric, priest, any pope, queen, king, whatever, priest, presidents, there better be something to substantiate what they're saying. Don't just accept everything blindly. And the same thing goes with being awake with what's going on in your environment for your health. Don't just go by the hearsay, and don't glorify what they're doing. The big question I get all the time is, well, isn't this going to affect them? What do you care if it's going to affect them or not? What do you really care if they're dying as well? What you should be caring about is the fact that you are being assaulted. Your genetic code is being assaulted. Your bloodlines, that means your children, your daughters and sons, are being assaulted. Your parents, who may be aged, are being assaulted. Your grandparents, if they're still alive, are being assaulted. The environment we're living in, the grasses, the trees, the animals, the livestock, your pets, are being assaulted. The aquatic life in the oceans are being assaulted. That's what you should be focusing on. The fact that they have assaulted this planet, have created an invading aspect on this planet, and then you can start getting into who's doing it. Who's doing it? You can get into all kinds of things, but the thing that you have to look at is, you may never ever find out who's doing it, but you may want to start looking at how to prepare against it. See, I don't get concerned about if it's going to kill them. I could care less. If they die, so be it. I'm glad. I'm happy that they're dead as well. They tried to kill us. If they died in the process, good. That's my attitude. Okay. My attitude now is, let me see what I can do to protect myself, my bloodlines, my friends, my associates, my network. That's how I think. I don't care about what they're doing. I could care less if they die. I care less if they swallow their own tail. I could care less. But I do care about what's going on with me, what they're doing to me, how they're doing it to me, and then how to come up with a countermeasure to what they're doing. This is how you should be thinking. This is how you should be assessing things. This is how you should be forming an offense. Not talking in terms of you being a victim. Oh, did you see what they did now? Oh my gosh, oh. You know, and you fall apart. Okay, they're chemtrailing us. We all know this. We all know by now, if you haven't figured it out, we all know by now they're dropping biological or technological or integrated biology and technology agents on us. All of a sudden, you guys are getting respiratory issues. All of a sudden, you're getting headaches. All of a sudden, you're getting aches in your body. All of a sudden, you can't coordinate your body. All of a sudden, you feel like somebody's controlling your body. That's telling you that they've released something on you. In you. So now you got to start thinking, what do I do to prevent this? How do I stop this? Or how do I neutralize this? So I can't stop them chemtrailing. Nobody can. Well, not yet anyway. I think when we get enough people waking up what's going on and able to, you know, form a more perfect union and then decide to go after not only the political leaders but the corporate leaders. That's who you have to go after. The President of the United States has no power. He's just a guy that represents the corporations. That's all he is. Same with the Prime Minister of Canada. He's nothing but a guy that represents the banking system in this country. So until you go after the corporate heads of these corporations or banks in your respective country, you will never deal with the problem that's at hand. Never. The political structure that's there is designed to discourage any rebellion or any defiance that may be going on with the system. So you have to deal with the corporations that are causing all these issues. Your banks are your primary cause. They pay for everything. When you're looking at your religious systems, they also are part of the problem. They're not opposing what's going on. In fact, they're telling you to accept what's going on. In the name of Allah, you should accept this. In the name of Jehovah, you should accept this. In the name of Jehovah, you should accept this. In the name of God, you should accept this. In the name of Muhammad, you should accept this. In the name of Moses, you should accept this. In the name of Brahmi, you should accept this. In the name of Buddha, in the name of the Creator. And whatever choice or slice or whatever it is you adhere to, in the name of whatever, I call it in the name of BS, you should submit to this. That's what they're telling you. As far as I know, best that I can understand what I read, the only one we're supposed to be submissive to is God and God's Word. At least that's the last time I checked. So when you're told that you should just accept your lot in life, what's the point in living? You're just a slave then. So my point here on this is not to glorify what has been done or being done, but start to glorify in the fact that now you know what's going on and that you will now take the proper steps in trying to come up with a solution. It is going to overwhelm you, especially those of you who are just waking up. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a biblical reference here. And it goes like this. Jesus talked about the story about a sower who went out to sow. Some seeds fell along the path, and the birds came and ate them real quick. Other seeds fell on rocky soil where they grew up, and then they withered and died because of the sun. Others grew around with thorns or with weeds. They grew up, and the weeds eventually choked them out. And then some fell on good soil where they immediately grew and sprang different return, 30, 60, and 100-fold. And basically what happens is, with that scenario, basically he's just explained that, you know, when you hear the truth, you'll hear it, and then all of a sudden some things, you know, people will mock you, laugh at you, try to discourage you, and all of a sudden you forget about it. You think, oh man, it's, you know, this is crazy. And you get sucked in with the crowd. You get sucked in with the flow. You go with the flow. Because when you go with the flow, you keep reinforcing the lie. And they need the lie to keep on being reinforced. Because the more and more people that stand up to what is true and what's going on, the less the lie has any strength. The more you go along with it, the more strength you give the lie. That's the way it works. The second group will immediately hear the truth and think, wow, this is terrible, this is terrible. And then as soon as they get challenged or as soon as they feel any kind of threat or opposition, they cave in and forget about the truth. The third ones grow with people that are into all kinds of crazy stuff, and that's conspiracy theory. That can't be true. The government wouldn't allow this and whatever, and then they get choked out. The truth gets choked out of them. And then there's the ones that stand strong. The ones that said, this is all BS. We're being killed. I can look around me. 9 out of 10 people are dying. 9 out of 10 people are on drugs. 9 out of 10 people have become dysfunctional. What is wrong with that picture? So when you see stuff like that, that's my point. Stand your ground. Look at what's going on. Yeah, you're going to freak out. Yeah, you're going to be afraid. That's to be expected. But then don't let it control you. It's okay to have fear, because fear is a healthy thing. It's a response mechanism that tells you that something is wrong and you need to defend yourself. The next step is then learn what is going on, and then you're going to get mad. You are going to get angry. You are going to then realize that how bad you have been royally screwed. And then you get active. And I'm pointing this out because you need to hear it. You need to hear it from somebody who went through it. You need to hear it from somebody who's fighting the battle. You need to hear somebody who's been poisoned by this technology. You need to hear somebody that's telling you the way it is. And you need to hear from somebody who's standing their ground and saying, Chuck, you Farley, if I'm going to go, I'm taking your sorry backside with me. And that's the way it is. And that's all you've got. Biblically, it says there is no discharge from war. We are at war. We've been at war the moment we were born. Before we even knew what was going on, the war was going on to exterminate life on this planet, to terminate mankind. Okay, the laws are trying to make that a reality. You can no longer call a man or a woman man or a woman. We got to incorporate everybody. People kind. What a joke. People kind. We're made in the image of God, and God called that image man. So we're from that species or that lineage of man, mankind, Adam kind. That's what we should be called, Adam kind. That's my point of trying to get across today, more or less. I want you to be aware that you're going to be constantly confronted with people who are just plain stupid. End of story. I'm not a nice type of guy when it comes to the truth. I will tell it to you the way it is, how it is, and how I see it. I may be wrong, and I will admit if there's enough validity to what you're saying to prove that I'm wrong, I will acknowledge I'm wrong. I have no problem with that. If you have better facts than I do, then I want to see those facts. But if you just got a bunch of facts that you just are basically scouring together, then all you've got is a lot of rhetoric. And that's the problem with a lot of the ways people interpret things too. They take a line of this and a line of that and a line of this, and they form a conclusion without testing it. And that's where the test comes in. If you can't test it, then obviously there's no substance. If there's no substance, then what do you have? Zero. So when you're hearing also all these gurus out there on nanotechnology or more gallons, okay, hold on to your wallet. Hold on to your wallet, because 9 out of 10 of those guys don't have a clue to what they're talking about. They are so far out in left field, especially the guy with the black goo. This guy is as goofy as they get. The goo-goo man, I call him. Dumb as a bag of rocks. And that's insulting the rocks. That's how stupid this guy is. But anybody who talks is nonsense this guy is talking about is basically, and you can see all he's doing is straggling some facts here and there to validate what he believes. Sort of like what a lot of these born-again Masons are doing on television. When you see them on TV with their Bible, they're strumming a bunch of different things together to make you believe what they want you to hear. Justifying because they got a little bit of a Bible verse here and there to justify what they're saying. Don't fall for these guys, and don't fall for this nonsense. Okay. One thing it also says biblically is study to show thyself approved under God. A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. And then word of truth doesn't necessarily mean the Bible. The word of truth means what it is, the word of truth, or truth. To understand the truth, to understand what it means, to understand what the truth really is. And that's, I'm starting to sound like a minister here, that's really where we should all be. We are being assaulted on so many different fronts, and I get people contacting me all the time, and I can hear the panic and fear in their emails and in their tone when they talk to me, and I understand they're afraid, but they get polarized. You know, they don't move, they freeze. Like I said, it's okay to have a fear, as long as it doesn't control you. But I mean, look, we've done research for you. It's all there. You don't even have to accept the research that I've done, period. But you owe it to yourself to at the least, look at the research to see if there is something to it in the first place. And some of you will give me this stuff, well, I don't have the time, and I'm just too tired, and I'm this, and I'm that. Then my thinking is you're dead. There's no point in throwing in a life raft after you, or life saver after you, or preserver. You won't even reach out to grab it. You know, so you're going to drown anyway. So I may as well keep it in the boat. Let's work for me. So my point is, you owe it to yourself to understand the nature of the assault that is on your system. Do you actually think that it's normal? That's actually normal that everybody you know has some kind of health condition. Now let me point something else out to you, a lot of you too, because a lot of you get caught up on this ridiculous stuff. A lot of you will look around and say, well, how come these people don't seem to have these issues? Now let me again reiterate something. 9 out of 10 people are on some kind of medication or have a health issue. 9 out of 10. Now you mean to tell me that you can look at somebody superficially and tell me that there's nothing wrong with that person? See, the reason why I say this is because I have people contacting me or calling me or coming to see me all the time. And if you were to look at them, you wouldn't think anything's wrong until they open their mouth and they tell you. They have an autoimmune disorder, they've got a cancer, they've got some kind of STD, they've got some sort of mental disorder, respiratory disorder. These are not things that you can see with the naked eye when you're looking at somebody, unless you see them swallowing a pill. So this is the one-dimensional thinking that everybody's been programmed to look at. So when you look at everybody, oh, I can't believe all these people are sick. That's the stat. And the stat also stating that the air is killing everybody across the planet. And I get the call. I just got a call from Australia the other day. It's funny, I got a call from Australia, I got a call from California, and I got a call from Europe. All in one day. All saying the same thing. All saying the same thing. So again, get past the superficial visual. Get past the one-dimensional thinking. Because everything we've been looked at and everything we've been taught, even how we interpret what we're learning and how we go about getting the facts sometimes, even that's one-dimensional, and it will restrict you from seeing the full truth because you won't go beyond a certain barrier. That's what the problem with doctors today. The doctors have that problem. They've been programmed on a singularity or a paradigm. That's all they will stick by because it's safe. Because you can't get sued as long as you stay within the confines of that border. If you go outside that border and you actually try to help somebody get healed or get fixed, then you get targeted, not by the peers, but or you also may get targeted by the person that actually may have helped you, that you may have helped. So it's easier to stay within the constraints and the confinements of that barrier. So you stay in that one-dimensional thinking because all you see is that funnel vision. And that becomes problematic because you can't see the big picture. All you're looking at is what's conventionally in front of you. Some of the unconventional things are kind of hard to swallow, I gotta tell you. Some things are, It can be a mind-rattling or mind-changing or an experience for some of you. And some of you, it's a shock. You know, that's all to be expected. Because as we keep on going and moving forward, we start shedding off a lot of these dead ideas. You know, the things that have kept us in restraint from not allowing us to see the truth, or not allowing us to live the truth, or not allowing us to evolve to a higher truth or a better truth, or more like the truth. I guess that's a better word, more like the truth. That's the concept that we have to start thinking. That's the multidimensional levels of thinking we've got to get into. You call it abstract thinking, but that should be the norm. I've often said this on many videos. If God is not the center of the equation, then you have no equation. Because when you look at everything, God created everything. God knows the physics of the planet. God knows the quantum physics of the planet. God knows the photon physics of the planet. He knows the cymatic physics of the planet. After all, he spoke the word, and he created a universe out of a void. Created planets. Created life on planets. Here we are as a result of his understanding of God science. That's how I would call it. So we're going to be dealing with science, and that's the science we should be looking at, the God science. So if he's not the center of the equation in the science, in the math, and everything we're talking about, even in creation, then we have nothing. It's subjected to whatever you want to throw at it. Garbage. They're talking about, you know, I was watching a program today about artificial intelligence in India and how they were interviewing Sophia. Sophia was having a glitch. There was a problem with her response mechanism. She wasn't getting the program feed that she should have gotten. And then the host tried to schmooze that around. But there was a malfunction going on in that technology. This is what they want to release on you. This is what they want to integrate with you. This is what they want to replace you. When you hear all the nonsense about AI robots, AI systems, blockchain, this is all a web of sorts, or network of sorts, that's designed by definition to integrate an AI across a planet's system. Basically, the AI will conquer the planet by this blockchain, because the way it would interface. And once that's in place, it would be very difficult to again shake the planet loose from anything because of the interface that's going on. I think at that point the only thing left is a good match, hot enough temperature to liquefy this and dissolve it, even frying its circuitry to a point that there's nothing left. If you're still on the planet when that happens, you're pretty well going to be cooked. I knew that guy. Look, there goes his DNA. It's a heavy message on some level, but in reality, it isn't a heavy message at all. It's the message, period. Number one, don't allow yourself to be misled by goofballs. Because they understand, this is the psychology of these gurus. Doctor gurus are the worst ones in the health food industry. Especially when they're telling you don't eat microcrystalline cellulose, and they're okay with silicon dioxide or titanium dioxide or other crap that they put in their vitamins. See, this is an oxymoron, if you will. This is a contradiction in ethics. You know, when you're talking about magnesium stearate, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, the heart uses both magnesium and the stearic acid. So why would that be a problem? Unless you're mixing it with something that can create a problem. So what are we mixing with? Well, let's take a look. Silicon dioxide, microcrystalline cellulose, hypercross carmelose, hypermellose, titanium dioxide, soy, HVP, AVP, natural and artificial flavor. Wow, we got a montage of chemicals going on in whatever you're taking, and then we're looking at that as the problem? That's what I'm saying. You got goofball gurus in the health food industry that, again, if you don't know how to investigate correctly, you're going to be misled. I'm not the only one that has this information. It's out there. All you got to do is take a look at it. You'll be surprised at what you're going to find just on your own. So, you know, when you're hearing goo gurus with their goo crap, you know, not understanding, the guy that came up with that goo crap never understood that the Chinese already invented that back in 1956. And they were using it as a means of weaponizing biological agents, using liposome and hydrogel technology. After 30 years or 40 years, they would have definitely developed that technology to become more refined and more effective. Maybe adding a little artificial intelligence to it. You know, so that now the artificial intelligence will actually take this stuff where it needs to go and then release it when it needs to. Trojan horse ready to come open at an unexpected moment. So understand that, you know, when these guys are talking, you know, especially when you hear something relatively brand new, you know, somebody's selling you nano in your food supply. I mean, seriously, and you're not even looking at that. You're not even investigating that. You're just hearing somebody at their word take that, you know, sell you this stuff, and you're not even understanding what this actually does to your brain, to your spine, to your liver, to your genetic code, to your DNA, to your chromosomes. Just because something comes, oh yeah, I feel great on it. Oh, this stuff's so good. Oh, I've never felt so good in my life. Blah, blah, blah. And then you look at the two guys, and they're older than dirt. Come out of, you know, Ramadan's tomb in Egypt, you know, 5,000 years ago. I feel great. Don't allow yourself the luxury of being schmoozled. Investigate and test. Investigate and test. If there's not enough information on it at that point, whatever they're selling to you, then start looking up at the active ingredients in there. Carbon. Carbon. What is carbon? Oh, wait, carbon. Diamond is made out of carbon. Coal is made out of diamond. Petrified wood is made out of carbon. I can't consume those. Can't break it down. What kind of carbon are they talking about? Oh, a nanocarbon. Wow, let's take a look. Let's look up nanocarbon. Oh, wow, look at that. It's 3 times harder than diamond. 100 times harder than steel. How the heck are we supposed to break that down? Wait, look. They mixed it with an oil. Wow, this is a liposome. Wow, that means it's going to get past my digestive system, get into my liver, and then go directly to my brain. What is that going to do to my head? Oh, wait a minute. Let me reevaluate this for a second here. What are these guys selling me here? See, that's how you need to break these things down. Look at what they're telling you. Look up what they're telling you. Break it down in aspects and parts. Because the short term, you may see some kind of response because it's triggering an oxidation or an enzyme response that's going to trigger another response in your body that may make you feel somewhat euphoric. But when you continue doing it all the time, you break down that response mechanism, and guess what? You don't feel it anymore. You know, you don't feel it anymore. You know, don't have a millennial mentality. Can't afford it. The millennials need to be educated and know what it means to be educated, not programmed. See, any idiot can go look up a text. Any idiot can read a text and base their assumptions or their opinions on reading one text. This is what everybody does. This is what they're expecting. They know you have the attention span of a gnat. So they're only going to give you so much information, knowing that all they got to give you is shine the light on the positive aspects of whatever it is they're going to sell you, knowing bloody well that those particles or those materials inside these products are going to cause you long-term damage, which then in turn is going to lead you back to them or to the doctor, or both. So now they got a steady cash flow coming in. The health food industry is doing the same thing that the medical industry is doing. No difference. Here, we got a new improved product. Try this. Oh, try this one. This will help fix it. Oh, wait, this will help fix it. Wait, oh, you need about 50 pills. If you take all of them, you should be fine. That's where we're at today. The ethical value today means nothing. It's all about money. It's all about how you can make more money. Doesn't matter if your people you sell the stuff to dies, as long as you made your money. That's called blood money. That's called blood money. And as long as you continue to capitulate to buying these products, basically you're the one that bleeds out. And eventually you bleed out to a point where there's no more blood to bleed. Learn to protect your genetic code. Learn to protect your DNA. Learn to protect your mitochondria. Learn to protect, your ATP production units. Learn to understand how to support enzymes. Learn to understand what minerals you really need to boost in order to boost your body's immune functions. This is very key on all aspects. You have to look at what you're doing like a chemistry set. Everything you do in your body is going to affect some kind of chemistry. Oxidation is not necessarily a bad thing unless it's overdone, because oxidation activates other properties in the body to trigger other things like enzymes and antioxidants that perform to help the body heal. Shutting down certain things like the colon because you're too alkaline. Alkalizing your system till you neutralize the digestive system so it doesn't function anymore, opens you up to viral, parasitical, and microbial infections, which can lead to cancer. Just because you're acid and alkaline doesn't mean you can be cancer in both stages. That doesn't matter. Whether you're alkaline or acid, you can still be getting cancer, contrary to the nonsense that's being propagated in the health food industry. Alkalize. You should alkalize. You need to alkalize. Alkalize. And so now you get your alkaline levels and you're way up high on the alkaline. And then you can figure why you're having health issues. You're still having health issues. Like I said, don't get schmoozled. Investigate. Study how the body works. Study how oxidation and sometimes free radicals do have a positive effect on the system, because it triggers a response to the system so that it can protect the DNA, protect the genetic code. What we're dealing with today is a saturation of nanotechnology, nanobiology, synthetic biology, transgenetic, epigenetic exposure we've never ever had to deal with on the level that we're dealing with today. It's phenomenally unbelievable. And you're having problems recovering, all of you, is because your DNA program is being thrown out the door. It's being overwritten by this technology, by this biotech terror. Okay, before I go on, let me again emphasize the need to support activism in a proper perspective. Shows like the Micro Effect need your support. Give it to them. They're actually giving you something that you need to hear. Support them any way you can. You got buybybluesky.com, GAG Canada, and we are going to have a green show. As soon as I get it up here. Where are we? There you go. We're going to have the green show April 6th to the 8th. Not too far away. So if you're in the Metro Toronto area, come on down. Say hi to some of us that are trying to do something to just make a change on the planet. Heck, you might even want to get on board and give a hand. Who knows? So come on, see us. We're going to be there again, April 6th to the 8th. Bye Bye Blue Sky at the Green Living Show in Toronto. So again, feel free to come on down, say hi. Even if you don't want to get involved, just say hi. Hey, we heard you on the YouTube. We heard you. We've seen you on Bye Bye. Whatever. Come on down and say hi. And again, get educated. Understand nano. Understand it. Okay. You got me down here at 519-977-5351, or go to my site at augmentinforce.com. There's a catalog link on the site. For those who are looking for product, there's a catalog link there. For those of you who are trying to send money to me for whatever reason, for a consultation, there is a send money site as well. A couple links on the page. You can click on that. Depending on where you are, if you live in the U.S., send to the U.S. If you live in Canada or outside, send to Canada. Again, feel free to investigate the site. Look at the general information on there, on the nano, on the synthetic biology, on the glyphosates, on the whole nano scheme there. You need to really understand what we are dealing with today. irrespective of the bozos that are out there running around thinking they got an idea or the theory or some presumption of things. Take a hard look at this and see if some of the symptoms don't actually match what you're dealing with. I was going to talk about synthetic biology today, but we're going to be out of time shortly, so I'll just wait till Thursday. But Thursday I'm going to deal with the synthetic biology to give you a better explanation of what's going on and how you can see that the terms of synthetic biology and nanointegration with biology are synonymous. In other words, they sound and are exactly alike, one and the same. So basically they're evolving everybody in steps to be able to accept synthetic biology. Okay, and the terminologies do slightly check out. The other thing you want to look at is XNA. XNA, xenonucleic acids. Go look that up. You can see how your body can be taken over by adding XNA to whatever they're spraying in the skies or whatever you're eating in the food, how it can copy your DNA and then insert whatever it wants through the double strands that may be broken to initiate a reprogramming in your system. And how we can stop that from happening, maybe even reverse it. So when we're looking at research of what these things can do, look at them, understand them, study them, and then look for what can neutralize these things. Don't just, like I said, accept whatever. So check out those sites, check out the links, check out the catalog link. If you need a consultation, I'm also available for those as well. So again, the number is 519-977-5351. or independz@yahoo.com. Oh boy, the hour went by. So like I said, when we're talking today on what is healthy, what does it mean to be healthy today? Does it mean you got to go to the doctor and have to take 20 different medications? Is that now the new definition of being healthy? Taking drugs all the time? Does it mean being healthy, meaning that you have to swallow a health food store full of vitamins in order to be healthy all the time, or to minimize being sick? Is that what it means to be healthy? Does the new terminology for being healthy mean to minimize being sick, to minimize health conditions that could cause unwanted effects on our health? Is that what that means today? See, when I grew up, being healthy meant I wasn't sick. I was functioning. I was able to go to work. I was able to go to school. I was able to drive my car. I was able to play sports. I was able to interact with other people. I was able to be there when I needed to be there. My brain was functioning the way it's supposed to. I could remember things. I could focus on things. My eyes were working. I could see. Now I'm having problems seeing. I got this glow or this fog on my eyes. You know, I used to be able to see real good. Well, you know what that is? That's biofilm buildup on the eyes. Biofilm. Because your eyes are loaded with nanodust. So the bacteria in the eyes are trying to, again, adhere to these things to pull them out. But what happens is it can't break it down, so it forms a bond or layer over these things, which is causing you to have this clouded vision. So you may want to start using MSM in water or salt in water, and then use eye washes regularly. If you put MSM, dissolve it, put a sugar glass to your eye or a shot glass to your eye, open your eye and blink, you'll find that it'll have a very cooling and soothing effect on the eyes. Do that regularly. You might see that film eventually break down. You might actually see what's really going on. Holy cow, is that what's going on? I think they want the fog back, you know. Know your enemy. Understand the nature of your enemy. Understand the nature of how your enemy is working. Understand the nature of what your enemy is doing. And when you do that, you can come up with ways to counter what is going on. Unfortunately, that's how you have to think today. You may not like what I said, you may not agree with what I said, but that's what I said. And you can take that or leave it. It's up to you. But I am going to tell you this, those who understand what I'm saying, those of you who are awake enough to grasp what I'm saying, you're already there and you know what I'm talking about. For those of you who are just waking up, who are just seeing what's going on or beginning to understand the nature of how our systems have been compromised and how we've been hijacked, for the next little while it's going to be a little bit bumpy for you, but hang on. The bumps do get smoother after a while. And then after a while, you start going into roller coasters. And you'll understand that when you get there. But the moment you keep your eyes open is the moment you start to really grow, and that's when the moment comes when your thinking process starts to change, starts to really, really change, and you start to become, then it's when you start to become educated, because now you're going to start shaking off the programming that you once had been given to you as a standard truth, which you now will realize that a lot of that standard truth was a standard lie. Okay, I think this is the end of the show, or near the end of the show. I don't hear music yet, but we're at 7. So, anyway, I'll leave you guys go with that. We had a late start, but I'll leave you go with this. Again, investigate, trial and error, test what you're reading. Don't get caught up because of some hierarchy or some institution or whatever. I read all kinds of stuff from institutions, from medical institutions, scientific institutions, military institutions, industrial institutions. I will accept things to a certain point based on the understanding I have of when I'm reading, but there's a lot of it I don't swallow or don't buy until I test it, till I make it work, or till I can see how it can work. That's just my nature. I don't trust nothing. I don't believe nothing unless it has substance. If it has substance, I'm there. If it's just a lot of hearsay, a lot of hocus pocus, or some mystical, magical, universal stuff, you know what? You lost me. You know, I'm not buying. Those things are so intangible, there's no way anybody can prove that. And when people start talking in tangents, and they're trying to pretend that they're knowledgeable or trying to pretend that they know something, these are the biggest fools walking on 2 feet. And I don't care if they're a man or a woman. I don't genderize when it comes to that. Foolishness is universal. And if all anybody can talk to you about is intangibles, it has absolutely no substantiation to anything that's pertinent to what we're doing today or what's going on in life, then all that is a guy trying to con you out of your money. Hang on to your wallet. All right. Where's Joe? Joe, where are we? Hold on a second. All right. I'm going to let you guys go. And we'll see you Thursday. Until then, study, test, study, test, study, test. All right. Take her easy.